Welcome in, everybody, to the final DNVR Rapids Postgame show of the 2022 season. It's a drawing room, and we are presented, as always, by the homies at Evoca TV. Rapids escape Austin with 1 point in a 1-1 draw. Shouldn't have been that, but we'll get into that later. Host Carroll, a.k.a. Myrtle, and I am joined, as always, by my just perfect Burgundy boy supporting cast here. We have the superest producer in the land. The Yaseline is fired up. It's DNVR Yahya. What's up, bud?
I will always say this is the body of a podcaster right here. If you want to see the tip top podcast,
it's pod
right here.
Pod.
If you're watching us on Twitter, come watch us on YouTube, and you'll see what I mean. You'll see the HD quality pod.
Hey, pod bod, dude, for real. Well, if Yaya's got pod bod, Duane is friggin' Fabio over here. My guy downtown, Duane Brown.
True. What's up, everybody? It's good to see you on a one more time for us. One more
tie, also.
One more tie.
The Rapids did to another has only done to them this season. They escape on the last action of the game was a Diego Rubio goal on a header. Gives him his 16th of the season and ties the game. Controversially ties the game. Yeah, big round of applause for Diego Rubio.
Wasn't that like just the perfect way to end the Rapids season? The most shenanigans way to like just say bye to the 2022 season.
I mean, it was, okay. I mean, there was two defining moments of this game, right? And I'll let you guys decide which way we want to go. Deciding moment number one, Danny Wilson turnover into an Acosta penalty, Drusi burying a penalty. That's the sequence. The most classic, the picture of the 2022 Colorado Rapids. Well, there's two pictures, and the other one is Diego Rubio saving the day somehow with a very late goal to equalize. So those two, I think, both epitomize this season because that's really all we've had is Rubio being great and the defense turning it over and causing problems. So do you guys want to start with Rubio? Do you guys want to start with the defense? Where do you guys want to go?
I think we start with the defense and we just build up to Rubio.
Love that for us. Okay, so I guess to kind of set the plate, very strange defensive formation from Robin Fraser in this one, a 5-back with Sam Nicholson on the outside right, Lucas on the outside left, but never really back on the line, really. So I would say it was more like a back four with Keegan, Wilson, Lawless, Nicholson.
And it feels like that wasn't designed, though. It feels like strange. That just kind of turned out to be like,
yeah.
I don't know. Man. It was such a weird game all the way around.
Really weird game. I thought for the most part the defense held up really well until the inevitable classic Rapids turnover, and it was the problem we've been saying all season, Duane.
Yes.
I
don't know what else there is to say that we haven't said it already. I mean, it really did bookend it. I almost kind of laughed a little bit because I was like, what a bookend to the season, and thankfully Rubio gave us something else to celebrate, which we will in a bit. But it did feel like a very Rapids bookend on the season, finishing kind of the way that not only the way we've started, but the way that almost every game has been. It wasn't a start and a finish. It's been fairly consistent with a few bright spots. So, yeah. What can you say about that turnover that hasn't been said already? It is.
What can you say? I mean, it's just if there was any doubt in Porg Smith's mind, right? Winning 3 of 4 down the stretch, looking for their 4th in 5 games. If there was any doubt that they didn't need to rebuild that back line, I think that turnover and ending once where Ellis should have had a red card. They hammered that point home for him, right? Like they put it on the field. They like the resume and the offseason bullet points are right there thanks to this back line. Like this is like right. I mean, what else?
It's super it's super simple to look at the team and you'll know exactly what you need. Like this game just kind of, how you said, just drove the point home for Ray Frazier. It's like, go get more defensive help because clearly it's not helping.
We want Long. Go get Long, please. I'm just frustrated. I actually thought Nicholson, and not to like to jump subjects too much, but I thought Nicholson was actually pretty okay as the right back today. I don't know.
I hated it.
I hated it.
I thought he was
I hated it more out of what. I hated it more.
Yeah, I hated that like, 5.
I hated it because why are you doing it? But the players have to play the position they're put in on the field, and I thought he held up pretty well.
I thought he was getting beat too much. I can see why Frazier put him on for the reason of speed, giving them that right back.
Yeah,
it's a little
was eating him up there in the second half.
Yeah, that's why he's just a little bit quicker than. He's quicker than Keegan. He's quicker than Baitasher, and Baitasher was also injured. So it's like I see why you put Nicholson back there. You just wanted a little bit of help running back and forth, kind of keeping up with Facundes, but he doesn't have the conditioning, and I don't blame him for not having the conditioning because I feel like after COVID, it really messed him up, and you can really tell. And again, I'm not a big fan of putting players out of position.
Yeah,
keep your best players where they're good, and that's not a play that should be
weird.
At any point.
It was weird. It was really, really weird. It almost worked. Like they very nearly went in there and pulled it off. That being said, why did you even do it in the first place? Right? Like, why? What was the point? What do you get out of that?
Frazier looked in the mirror this morning and he's like, you know what's super crazy? Putting Nicholson in the back. You know what might just work? Putting Nicholson in the back. And
it almost did. It did.
Frazier woke up and chose chaos this morning.
Good for him. It's definitely good.
And I'm for it. I'm for chaos. Let's go.
He did, and I thought it was a really good thing to see. It was awesome to see like the kids. It was awesome to see everything going on. But again, how I said at the beginning of the show, this was the epitome of the Rapid season piled into one game. You literally got to see the best, the and the bad about the team.
Yeah, man. I don't really want to keep talking about the sad stuff. I thought Yarby had a good game. I thought Yarby had a really good game, honestly. He was active. He was diving all over the place. Good for him. We don't even have to. I don't think you have to think about him in the offseason. I think just keep rolling with Yarby at the back.
Give him some help.
Give him some help. Give the man some help. Give the man some help.
It all comes down to helping him out, that back line.
Give the man some help.
He definitely just needs some reinforcements as well.
We'll devote a whole bunch of time, I think, later in the show to Diego Rubio. I want to talk about the two guys who got starts, the two youngsters who figure to feature pretty big next season. If the end of the season is anything to show us going forward, was Yappy getting his first MLS start.
Congrats.
And Max continuing a pretty strong run of play. A couple turnovers that weren't great, kind of over dribbled, a few too many touches here and there. I thought both looked comfortable, which is a change from how they've been playing. I thought both looked really in place, right? Like the game didn't seem over their heads to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yappy, I don't think had much of an impact. I think he was kind of, keeping the back line working a lot, which wasn't always a common thing for this team. Barrios tends to hound those guys on the back when the defense is in possession, but Yappy was all over it. That was probably his best strength today. Nearly got that header that went
that was close,
inches over the bar. I was ready to just go nuts. Good for him. But Max and B-Ray nailed it in the comments here. This last month has shown that this guy is an MLS midfielder in my mind. Duane, I mean, how are you feeling going into the offseason with him? Pretty much, I would say a lock to be a at worst rotation midfielder.
I think, like you said, B-Ray really hit it on the head there. Is that, I think a lot of us were not feeling super comfortable and I had a lot of questions about where we were headed with Max and how's it going to work out. And I think over the last month or so, like he's stepped up and is really I think he's earned a spot on the squad for sure. And for me, that's enough. I like seeing that he's earned that spot versus just giving it because of what we signed him to or where he's from, which has been a lot of the conversation. But I think he's earned a place on the squad, and if I've seen that much growth in the last month, 4 to 6 weeks, I'm looking forward to seeing him get a whole season of regular play and to see what that looks like. And seeing where he fits into the squad too. Just seeing where he's going to be. It's good. It's all good. If my tone doesn't express that, like I wasn't, because when I'm thinking out loud, like my tone is so boring. I know. I'm so sorry. Excited. That's when the wheels are turning in my head. Is like I'm thinking, but also my mouth is moving. But don't let my tone ruin that. I am excited. I'm glad he's earned it, and I'm ready to see him next year and see where he grows from there.
Well, yeah, and to me, it's not necessarily where he fits, like where he fits into the 11. It's now where do new additions, trades, transfers, pickups fit around Max?
Yeah, and the thing is, Duane said something that really, and I was thinking of the whole game. Felipe and Max play a very similar game. They play a very smooth game, and you can see Max kind of grew into his own once Felipe got here.
Yep.
So I kind of wonder how much tutelage he got from Felipe, how to play that position a little bit more, how to control the midfield, and how to use that silky touch to everybody's advantage, not just your advantage.
He had to see it in film room, right? And in practice, he sees Felipe with the ball at his feet like that.
To Logan's point, I think Frazier does see him as a 6. You saw him be a little bit more back today. You saw Acosta, the one attacking a lot more. But
it's because of speed. It's those runs he can make from just outside the box over midfield, and then you saw some of those crosses where just on a dime through traffic across the field because no one picked him up and he got to run a little bit.
And when I don't know if you saw the Keegan interview that we did this past week, he said that Max grabs the ball and immediately turns, which is that's exactly what you have to do as a 6. You got to get the ball moving forward and just get out of there. And that's one of the main reasons why I think Frazier really appreciates having Max out there, because the kid is willing to push forward. He doesn't try to do a lot of tiki-taka. He doesn't try to just mess around in the midfield. He gets the ball and immediately turns and starts looking at the goal. So which kind of what you need in this midfield right now.
Yeah, and it's nice for a back line to know they have a guy who can get it, possess it, and keep it going, right? Like you need that level of confidence when you're playing out of the back, because when you're not good at playing it out of the back, having that kind of insurance, at your first midfield pass. And I think Max has really earned that over these last 2 games. I thought he was great today. A couple bad turnovers. Yeah. Like literally I posted how much I've liked seeing him grow, and immediately a turnover led to a corner, like immediately. And
another really good thing about the whole Max is another really good thing about Max being in that 6, it kind of takes away Danny Wilson's role of being a distributor from the back, which is something that you kind of want to throw a ball out of Danny Wilson's feet right now. So that's another thing that might be in play. For sure.
Yeah, thank goodness. Duane, any thoughts on the Yappy experience today before we kind of move off of that?
Nothing that's of value to add. So, here, come in, say hello.
Yo, superstar,
say hello so badly.
4th host of the DNVR Rapids podcast, Penny. Hi, Penny.
So she wanted to say hi to Mitch and Yahya. So.
Let's go.
Hello,
good to see you, Penny. One of the Rapids super fan in 123. What section are you in?
123, row 9.
There you go.
For all our jobs.
She is. She'll be hosting the podcast soon enough.
She scored her first ever goal this week.
Today?
Go,
this
Penny.
Yesterday.
Penny's coming for Diego Rubio's goal scoring record.
He's coming for the record.
Now we just need Denver to have an NWSL team so Penny can get the start.
Yes, let's go.
Put him on the Rapids, man.
Yeah, perfect.
Let's go. I thought it was awesome to see. Just that's what we were all talking about, is like hoping some of the young guys get a start and be able to just have that on their resume moving into next season. So that to me was the biggest part of it. I thought the play was okay, but mostly I was just happy to see that see him get the start. That's the only addition I would make to what's already been said.
Absolutely. And he really is. He's a true striker. It was interesting watching Rubio play off of him, because Rubio is very much one style of a 9, and Yappy is the physical profile of a big target man, almost like an Altidore or a Zardes, even, right? Like a very classic American physical, huge striker. And I mean, he's only 17. He turns 18 in November. He is intriguing to say the least as an option up front. He's basically had 10 minutes a game for the last month or two, a little under 2 months. So, and then you add tonight, right? Played 70 minutes, something like that. So a little more.
I think
it's good to see.
The biggest thing, you tweeted it out. I think it was either you personally or from the DNVR Rapids. I don't remember which it was. That his positioning was great. Yes. He knew exactly where to be at the right time and everything. I think the only thing is that it will come with growth is how to get involved in the game when the ball isn't reaching you. Because he was in the right position, he was doing the correct things. He just doesn't know how to get involved in the game when the game isn't on your end. And that's something that Jossie's really good at. Jossie's great at running the whole pitch. And he's just like, and that's something he's going to have to learn to get better at. Because you can see the difference when Jossie and Barrios came in and they were running up. They were like almost at their own box and then running back. And that's something Yappy was like, he was kind of at the halfway mark and then Alston's box. And you just kind of, those are the little small things that you'll learn with age, you'll learn with experience. You'll start picking up on little things that you have to do to get the ball and be an effective forward, even when you're not just hitting the ball or striking.
Well, like how you said, Max has clearly benefited from Felipe's presence in practice and on the field and in the film room. Clearly, Yappy has learned from Giassi. Giassi, say what you want. I know the chat is not stoked on Giassi's list, but he is always in the right place. Always beats his guy. Knows how to get on the correct shoulder on a run. Great footwork. And Yappy at least showed flashes of that today. And there wasn't someone like that to learn from on the Rapids until Giassi got here. So I think no matter what, if Giassi's resigned, if he's not, whatever, I do think you'll see Yappy improve because of his presence. And that's really good going forward for the Rapids. I mean, he's young and physically can dominate the MLS if he can put it together. So that was really exciting. Can't really think of any
against a lot of small center backs here in MLS. Though.
And center backs are going smaller and smaller now. I mean, that's kind of the trend now, is more athletic and good with the ball at your feet. Not necessarily these giants. There's not a lot of Omar Gonzalez's left in terms of center backs. 6'5", can't really move all that. So, dude, that that Zardes he had about a ball's worth of space in that corner. Because I thought Austin's keeper played really well, but he had his hands up. But man, he almost buried it. It was beautiful, beautiful play from both Barrios and, like you said, Barrios and Zardes when they came in. The only other young guy to really make or to get on the field today would be Ralph Priso. He got on right at stoppage time, so didn't get a ton of play. Got a few touches, which is way more than he's had since the third week after he arrived. I don't think he's played since.
August,
something like that, like late
July,
August. I mean, it was just nice to see him get on the field more than
immediately see the dog in him.
He's got that.
He immediately just runs at people. Yeah, he's a linebacker, dude. If you compare him to any other position in sports, he's a linebacker because he's just running wherever the ball is. Yeah, and that's what he does.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Let's talk about our guy, the Chilean wonder kid, who's in his almost 30s. Diego Rubio. He got his 16th goal of the season. He was looking to score, but not too much. He had that driving early that got blocked. After that, he wasn't really forcing it, I thought, which was nice to see. There was a few runs that I think he could have finished, but he wasn't really sure where to be with Yappy up front with him.
Yeah.
But that being said, the second the Zardes, Lewis, Barrios, like that four that we've talked about on this pod so many times, you instantly saw his impact. Instantly. And Duane, do you know what he did today that was also a record?
I don't.
It wasn't just the goal which tied the Rapids single season record. He got the 91st yellow of the season, which is the most in Rapids history. And who else would it be except Diego Rubio, if not, well, Brian Acosta or Lucas
record.
Literally anybody on the team, Yahirr could have gotten that yellow, and I would not have been surprised. I'd have been like, makes sense, man. It's like,
he's a record boy. But yeah, he got his 16th. I don't know if he has a header on a set piece goal this season. I think that was a unique one in his 16 goals. I'm sure someone can correct me in the comments if they remember one, but I don't have one off the top of my head. Definitely not off a corner. I'm trying to think if he had a header on the Keegan throw-in assist. But like for the most part, he doesn't really uses it all that often, and especially in a situation like that where it's very vertical, right? It was really nice to see. I mean, Duane, do you got any Rubio thoughts? Just how you like where you at with our guy?
We could have lost 100-1 as long as Rubio got that goal. I was happy with the result.
Hell yeah.
It's
dude.
Just and I know that there was a foul that should have been called right before that, but
yes,
the goal was the goal. Like it doesn't matter. Like someone put it over to him and he headed it in, and that happens in a vacuum without whatever should have or could have should have been called, all of that. So it's like I don't want that to tarnish the goal, because at first I was like, oh man, like I wish that it hadn't happened with kind of some suckiness right before that. But then I thought dude, it doesn't matter. He scored the goal anyway.
Yeah.
And that is a record tying goal.
Yes.
Obviously it's a record. We don't get to see that very often in Rapids land. And man, just congratulations, Rubio, if you see this, like, dude, we're happy for you here. Like, we just, definitely. I was cheering. I was watching it in my garage on the laptop, and I'm cheering in my garage. Like, yeah, I mean, I got tools in my hand. I'm working on shit, and like, I got one eye on the laptop, because this whole game, I am like, I need a Rubio to get this goal. And here it is at the death. Like,
I just imagine Duane pulling a Red Foreman, just hammering a paint can every now and then to make it seem like he's working in the garage, but really just drinking beer and watching the Rapids.
No, dude.
I'm just really grateful that Duane still has both of his eyes right now.
Yeah.
And no injuries.
Dude, welding today, grinding.
What?
Like, drill, all of it.
You're getting the Ghostbusters car going.
It's a very heavy day of work. So, I was not going to miss it. And so even with all of the stuff I'm working on, the laptop's there. And, man, I was just pumped to see it. So
yeah. What about you? What are your thoughts on Rubio's game / season / just being awesome?
Right now, if you remember when we got to watch Connor Cagley, you're kind of watching another guy like that. Mm-hmm. You're watching a Rapids legend. You're watching another Paulo Mastroeni. You're watching one of these guys that's going to be in the records for the Rapids, and it's going to be remembered as a Rapid and has given everything for this, for the badge and for the squad. And I think it's really special to see, like, the way you watch Claudio Bravo, the way you watch El Pibe, the way you remember these guys as people that contributed to what the Rapids are in their history books. That's where Diego Rubio is now.
Yep,
absolutely. And that's what you got to look at. You're watching a Rapids legend in real time right now, and it's really hard to comprehend sometimes. But the way you got to look at it is maybe not talent, but like the way you kind of look at Justin Simmons. He's one of those players that you're always going to remember.
Yeah.
The way you look at Charlie Blackman, that's one of those players you're always going to remember. And that's exactly what we're seeing with Diego Rubio now. A guy that's cemented in the record books for the Rapids, a guy that represents the Rapids to the full, like, on and off the pitch. Won Humanitarian of the Year for the Rapids in 2022. Does a lot of good work in the community that we don't hear about all the time. And this guy deserves every single thing that he's getting his way, and he deserves that record because he's been fighting to the very last minute. None of this, he never gave up on the squad, even when everything seemed bleak.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely hit the nail on the head, man. He is unreal, and to me, the really special thing, and this might be a little too much of a soccer head type thing here, but like, at a guy at this stage in his career, who has come from Chile to Sporting to Colorado. I think it's 7 goals last season. Does that sound right off the top of your head? Something like that, right?
I'll fact check you real quick.
I know that that Barrios led the team last year with 8, right?
With
so
8,
he wasn't even double digits, right? And for him to change positions, I think it was 5. Is not a striker. 5, even less. He's not a striker anymore. He's a 10. Like, he moved on the field to a whole new spot. And not only did he survive, he thrived. He leads the team in assists on top of that, by the way. He is the embodiment of what the Rapids are now, what the Rapids can be over these next few seasons. And it's just amazing to see someone like that who is not only talented and a great teammate, easy to market, easy to watch on the field, great in the community, great with the Special Olympics team, great with other charities that they do, the select team. It's just he's up there as an all-time Rapid, right? The only other name I could think of that wasn't in those that you said is like Omar, right? Like Omar Cummings. There's like very few names that you can say before you have to mention Diego Rubio now, period, right? And maybe this season ended poorly. I saw something, B-Ray, I think, tagged me in it on Twitter, tagged us, was those 4 points that cost with those late Houston goals, home and away, right? That was the difference in the playoffs this year, right? So really, really tough. Tough finish, but legendary season. And it came out of nowhere, right? Our first 2 months doing this show was, are they going to go get a 9? Do they need a 9? Can Rubio be the 9? Like, who's going to score goals for this team? What are they going to do? Like, who can score? And to see it just completely come out of nowhere. This was an organic and just really amazing transformation that we saw, that no one saw coming, and turns into now what should be a fan favorite for years. And it's great to see.
This is a very like out there comparison, and I don't mean it at all who they are and like who they are, but I mean it. Diego Rubio plays a lot like Lionel Messi.
Okay.
He's not Lionel Messi. He's not the GOAT. He's not the greatest ever. That's what I'm trying to get to. He is not the person, but like he plays positionally very, very similar to Messi. Because I'm a huge Barca fan. A lot of you guys know. But like when you saw Messi play, he was always a striker. He was the 9. And it wasn't working that. And he was great, wasn't he?
Right.
He wasn't great.
Right.
Like, he wasn't great.
It's just wild.
It is wild to think about it that way. And I'm not saying he is Lionel Messi because he's not Lionel Messi. There's one Messi in the world, and that's Messi.
He goes Messi, Rubio, everything else.
Literally, dude. But no, like their style of play is very similar in my opinion because they're goal scoring machines that are super creative.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because they both transition from a 9 to a 10.
Fiery too, man.
Yeah, they like exactly, and it's just like
it was perfect. He was the one to get the yellow, by the way.
Yeah,
it was perfect. It was perfect.
He literally represented the worst and the best of the Rapids in the last half in the last 45 minutes, man. But like again, I'm not trying to make it seem like it's messy, but I'm just saying they're very similar in their style of play and what they want to accomplish and what their skill sets are.
Totally.
Just Messi is 20 million times better because he's the greatest to ever do it. But I will not take any complaints. I will not take any judgment on this greatest to ever do it. Yes, I know why you're
700 goals happened this morning. I don't know if you saw it. Okay, we are going to get into some season wrap up. I'm going to surprise these two dudes with some questions about the season, their favorites, X, Y, and Z, what they're into. and what they're excited for the offseason. All that. We're going to get into it. Hey, Duane, no worries, man. It's easy. It's fun.
Such a bad memory on things.
Well, then I get
to just enjoy the vibes.
Look, the comedy is going to – all right, it's going to be comedy one way or the other. So, but before we get into that, you know who we have to talk about. The homies at Avaca TV. Let's go. Avaca is the new go in Colorado sports. That is the greatest of all TV. Avaca TV delivers amped up sports coverage for Colorado fans featuring Altitude Sports and AT&T Sportsnet. You know what starts on Wednesday, you guys? The Colorado Avalanche regular season. You know what starts the week after? The Denver Nuggets regular season. It is time to get Avaca and get Altitude in your house. Do it, do it, do it. You get the most regional content for the lowest price for sports in Colorado. That's DU, CSU, UNC, Metro even. On top of all the pro teams we already mentioned. It's on crystal clear HD while using less bandwidth, and you enjoy over 60 entertainment channels, including news, movies, and more. Turn your home into the ultimate game viewing zone. You can even stream your teams from your phone, laptop, or tablet when you're on the go. You can also add on a discounted Sling TV bundle to get ESPN and more. Avaca is only $25 a month plus a $5 receiver fee, but right now, you lucky listeners, DNVR homies, get the hookup over with Avaca. Go to evaca.tv/DNVR and you get $10 off per month for the first 3 months of Avaca service. That's evoca.tv/DNVR to watch your favorite Colorado sports teams. No contracts, no catches. Avaca is TV made for champions of the remote. And shout out you guys for sponsoring us all season. We really appreciate it. B-Ray, you know it's way cheaper than Fubo? Avaca TV. So there you go.
Don't have to make a budget.
Not even close.
There you go. And you don't have to budget because it's so cheap. Just kidding. We love you, Vic. No shots of Vic. No shots of Vic.
Yeah, no, it's no shots. All shots at Fubo. Fubo or whatever.
Yeah, dude. All right, guys. Season's over. Regular season's done. That we watched the last minute of Rapid Soccer 2022.
We made it. We made it, everybody.
Yeah, last weekend the team had their awards, right? And we're going to be adding to some media awards here today that will come out this week, thanks to the home Matt Pollard. But I'm going to ask you guys some stuff about your favorites from this season, and I'll throw it out. If you guys don't have an answer, I'll answer first. But overall favorite goal of the Rapids this season.
Not even hard. Keegan,
the Keegan Rocket. Duane, how about you, bud?
Gosh, this is a toss up.
Okay, you keep thinking. It's the Rocket.
I can't answer. It's got. I mean, I would say, I want to say Keegan because that shot was just such a cannon blast.
Yes,
but I'm also super excited about Rubio today. Like, this is cool. It's so cool.
Right. So, with literally seconds to spare to get the record on the header. Yes. It's pretty dope.
I also love that. I love them.
They're like, those are my only two acceptable answers. I just love the Keegan goal too much.
The 15th goal he had too, that Barrios cross or the pass all the way across the box, the curled into the corner. That was gorgeous. There was a lot of nice goals this season, honestly. But
the J-Lu one.
The chip on 4th of July.
No. Yeah, that's another one. I was thinking about the impossible angle.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
A good one.
That was really sick. Yeah, the Felipe assist to Lalas was gorgeous on that recycled kind of set piece. Felipe's so good at that. But it's got to be the Rocket, though. It's not even a competition, right?
The Rapids don't score a lot, but when they do, it's fucking bangers after bangers, dude.
Right. Okay, so obviously Diego Rubio is going to be off the table for this question because he's the answer to basically every question in terms of what was your favorite this, what was your favorite that, who was, et cetera, et cetera. So who was your favorite player to watch on the field this season for the Rapids?
Shocker, Jonathan Lewis.
Jonathan Lewis. That is kind of a shocker, actually. Were you being sarcastic with that shocker? Or?
No, I am being completely for real, man. I can definitely see where you think I was sarcastic, but how he started, like me just bagging on him, thinking he was like a bench into what he developed into.
Yeah,
he deserves all the credit. He was such a big driving force to this offense. He's a big reason why Rubio scored 16 along with Zardes and Barrios. So I think J-Lu definitely deserves a lot of credit, and he's a little bit of an unsung hero this year for sure.
I think I've said it a bunch of times on here, but when you replay this season 100 times, and I said that this season's probably the 5th worst or worse, right? Like in terms of what this season could have been. To me, he is in that discussion as well, personally, where it's like his season could have, like, how many goals did he just miss? How many assists did he just miss? Like, there's a world where he is in that double-digit assist and almost double-digit goal discussion from his run of play over that kind of early to mid-summer, where he was kind of the best thing about the offense and just couldn't find the finishing, right? He's just been really, really fun to watch. Duane, I'm going to pass the question on to you now, bud.
I'm going to go the totally opposite direction here. Every sport, I'm always a defensive guy. My sport was hockey. I was a goalie, through high school and college.
Okay.
And when goalies make saves, people go, "Oh my gosh!" And so I'm going Yarby. So I'm going Yarby with anytime Yarby makes a save, that is exciting. And I think it's a fun position to watch, and it's exciting position to watch. We didn't mention it today, but Keegan playing goalie and making that save was also another moment of me going, "Oh my gosh!" So any of those saves are my favorite. So I will go Yarby on that. And just say that it's always exciting to watch.
I think the numbers,
and he makes a lot.
The numbers are, not going to be friendly to your choice in the long run, right? Like,
I'm not in it for the numbers. I'm in it for the reactions,
And this is why we have these discussions, because I think, in 5-10 years, when you're like, oh, what happened in the 2022 Rapid season? You're like, wow, Yarby kind of gave up a shitload of goals. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like, there were some brutal scorelines against the Rapids, but very few of those big scorelines I thought were his fault.
Agreed.
I think the defense just hung them out to dry time and time again. When they were on, this team didn't give up goals. Right, or they gave up very few. So
when they were off, he made some amazing saves.
10 clean sheets. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, 10 clean sheets.
1-0.
Yeah,
great. That's a good season. That's a good season.
That's a good season for almost any goalie in the league, any league.
Yeah.
So. Yep.
That's awesome. So I think that's a really good choice. I think my choice will be actually not a shocker whatsoever, but it's Mr. Rapid. It's Keegan, man. It's he's the dude with the howitzer for his right leg, dude. The 2 banger goals, right? Duane brought up the save last week. Was it last week? It had to be last week.
There was a save today.
Well, and today too.
Today.
There was
one last week.
He played 3 different positions this season by my count. It's just so versatile. Is without a doubt the most consistent player in the back half of the team. There's not enough nice things you can say. And if you didn't listen to the podcast we did with him this week, go ahead and give that a watch, man. He was really great in studio, and definitely going to be more involved going forward. Hopefully we'll get him back on the show and get some content with him, man. He
go downstairs so I can have a seat too.
Oh yeah, Duane can play next time too. Sorry, Duane.
I had to give up my chair for Keegan, I guess, since he makes good saves and stuff.
I guess I'll move.
I guess I'll give him my seat.
Also, Keegan just gives you a really nice, solid foundation for next year and going forward.
Absolutely.
They can kind of just right back is handled. Lucas seems to be getting better defensively, and he's an offensive weapon.
He had a nice finish to the season.
Yeah, so it just kind of. It's kind of nice having such a. It's kind of nice just having somebody there. You know what I mean? Somebody that you can look in this is my guy. This is the dude that's going to be starting.
Yeah. Okay. This one, you might need to think a little bit. So tell me if you want me to answer first. Your unsung hero for the season.
Oh, that's easy as well.
Oh, look at Yahya.
Well,
man.
then go, Yahya.
Like I told him the questions before, but I didn't. Go ahead.
I think it started. It's like you see the goals. You see the goals.
Yes.
It was 9.
That's a good answer.
It's 9 goals. It's not double digits, and the Rapids might save a little money this year.
Couple assists. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but the thing is, as soon as he came in, the whole dynamic of the team changed, and Rubio became something that we hadn't seen yet.
Correct.
And he just gave so much liberty to everybody on the wings and to Rubio that he was taking up 2-3 marks, like 2-3 players at times. And that's things that you don't see. Sardis is such an unsung hero because if he was playing with maybe a more recognized, like a Raul Ruiz out in Seattle, what's going to happen? Sardis is going to score 15 goals, 20 goals because he's taking some of that attention away. People haven't caught on to Rubio being a goal scorer yet. To being one of the best in the league. They haven't so maybe next year might change a little bit and if Sardis sticks around, you might get a little bit more production from him. But the way Sardis opened up things for this offense was really nice to see.
Yeah. Duane, any thoughts on Sardis / your player?
I can't deny that, and I'm gonna also go with Sardis.
Wow. All right. Cop out.
For everything that Yahya just said. I agree 100%.
Good. All right.
He took a lot of crap.
God,
he took so much crap. He took so much crap when he got here, and just quietly racked up goals. You know, like more than most.
Had a hat trick. Had the only hat trick of the season.
Like, you know, that's the definition of unsung hero.
Awesome. Yeah, he was awesome.
That's the definition.
I really hope they can retain him at a decent price. For me, Logan, you just beat me to it with that comment, my guy. It is gonna be it's Felipe Gutierrez, man. Absolutely, that is without a doubt. Short time with the team, right? Came in at the end of August, but the way he could steady the ship with Jack Price being injured for basically his entire time with the team. I think he played 3 games with Price, maybe.
And it looked really good.
Yeah. But the guy's magic with his left foot. Great on set pieces. Just a really steadying, calming presence when the only other options besides Felipe were 19 and 20-year-olds who really didn't have any real starting experience in the MLS. He clearly fit in the locker room and on the field. Friends with Diego Rubio, is a vet.
A lot of those Latin guys as well.
Absolutely. And I hope they can work something out because the dude is clearly an MLS level talent. I mean, I understand why he went back to Chile when he was recovering from his injury and with his club that he grew up with, but yeah, I mean, he is just so good. And I think the key to success is developing the young guys, but you need vets. You need those steady hands, right? You can't rely on too many young guys. You can only have
look at Max.
Yeah, you can only have so much inexperience out there. While you need to get these points, right? How many missed points did we have because we just didn't have those steady hands out there? And so
the thing is, the way he helped Max out, like that's a big thing. I really do think he helped out Max a lot,
big time.
Like that, you need those mentors around. And I got to talk to him a little bit in Burgundy Affair in Spanish.
Yep,
nicest dude out there.
That's what everyone says.
Nice.
Literally everyone. And the only media I did with him this season, he did a post-game presser, but our guy OG was translating because he just doesn't feel like he didn't want to do the whole thing in English. But man, just super friendly. Always says hi to us if we're at practice as we're walking past. Clearly the team respects him. Smiling. Him and Max both. Those dudes smile like it's gone out of style.
Honestly, in that when he came in here, we found out his nickname in Chile was El Pibe.
Yeah,
he might be challenging to keep that around a little bit. He might be like El Pibe 2.0 or something.
So.
He came in and really.
I hope he comes back. I really do. Okay, next question. We got a couple more. Next question. Rate Robin Fraser's season 1 to 10 and why?
Go ahead. You got to do it, or do you want me to go?
I can go.
No, go ahead. That's a tough one, man.
That's
a harsh question.
It is a harsh question, but yeah. I think when you factor in injuries and you factor in, injuries mostly.
Yeah,
right? Like,
that's why I kind of agree with B-Ray. It's like the 6.57 because he did get dealt a really bad card, and I think he adjusted really well, and I think he did what he could with what he had, but there was also a lot of times where he became a little stubborn and refused to kind of ride the hot hand or kind of do what worked best for his team because he has, and it's normal with every coach. Every coach gets stubborn. Everybody gets stubborn as a human because you think you know what's best. And I think the back five is a great example. Once you switch to the 4, that team exploded with goals. It not exploded, but it got better. It got more offensive. It had a little bit more panache here and there. But you do have to factor in Jack Price in some of the season. Yeah. You have to factor in Danny Wilson. Probably struggling with injuries all season that we didn't hear about because he did have a hamstring and a few other things bothering him. He had to deal with all the yellows and all the suspensions and all that crazy stuff. So I think the way he handled a lot of it was good.
Yeah.
But it just there's also a part of me where you could have been a little bit better. Your substitutions sometimes were a little bit late. When you had opportunities to play the kids or give a spot start or spot minutes to one of the younger guys, sometimes you put in a player that was affecting you negatively more than it was positively. And that's the only reason why I'm a little iffy on the Frazier, giving him more than the second.
Duane, go ahead.
I'm going to go 6.
Okay.
This is not a personal reflection on Fraser. You guys all know I love Fraser. But if I look at last season, I'm looking at a 9 or a 10, right? And
last year was the best possible.
Yes. So it's I have to put it in context of that. And this year was not that, obviously. That's there were lots of injuries and things to deal with. Also moving Rubio, that's genius level, genius. All 6 of those points are probably from that.
Yes.
That's genius stuff. And we've got the data and the goals to show it and the record, right? But I this season for me, I cannot get over the absolute mental breakdown in so many of those matches. I'm not going to put it on formation or strategy. I'm putting it solely on really bad decision making and poor playing. And I don't know why that happened, but it happened a whole bunch and it was consistent. And unfortunately, that's part of being a leader, and so I have to look at Fraser for that because it would be different if it was 1 or 2 matches, right? And then it cleaned up, and then I'd also give that to Fraser, right? But it just kept happening over and over and over, and we kept having to talk about it so many times that's what drops it to, a 6, and if it wasn't for that Rubio move, maybe it's a 5 or, or something, but that mental lapse for so many games is troublesome for me. And somebody's got to fix that. And, unfortunately, that's the leader, and that's the coach.
Yeah, and I think specifically the mental lapse was coming from the back line when he himself was an MLS Defensive Player of the Year at center back. I think that it has to be kind of the mark. But I'm probably right in the middle of you guys. I think probably a 6.5 is fair. When Jack Price only plays a third of the possible minutes he can play, and when he is on the field, you're at a playoff pace in terms of points per game. It's really tough when you lose, you immediately lose depth with Galvan. You immediately lose depth with Keita. And it's just these injuries just keep happening. Ollie out all season. And then Yahirr, who finally finds his form, and he finds a place for him as that third winger, that just offense off the bench late. And then it's just such a bummer, right? Every time he found a solution, he was given another problem, right? There was no resting on your laurels for this team, which granted it's sports, right? There is no resting on your laurels. But that being said, sometimes when you find a groove, you get to maintain a groove. And this team was never given the opportunity to do that. I do think, again, freak injuries, tons of suspensions, those don't happen when you replay the season a bunch of times, but they did. So somewhere in that 6.5, 7.5 range. Like you said, the genius move of making Rubio a 10 and unlocking the greatest goal contribution season in Rapids history by doing
Wizard.
So.
Yeah, that's Wizard.
Truly amazing. Yeah. So, and not just that, but it's hard for strikers to be like, okay, yeah, move me around. Like, sure. Like strikers are like wide receivers, man. They think that they are perfect and they don't.
They're lead guitarists.
Exactly. Right. And so for him to just buy into what Frazier was selling there, I thought was amazing. So, all right, let's see. I had another one, but I forgot what it was, so I didn't write these down.
I give us an 8.
I remember what it is. What, you give who an 8?
Us.
Oh, that's awesome.
I give us.
Great. Okay, last question. Favorite moment?
Are we talking just Rapids or like whole season, including us too?
Open-ended.
Open-ended. Cool.
To me was
let's go. Open-ended.
To me, it definitely was having that interview with Keegan on Thursday. Was my favorite part of the season because it just shows. To me, it just shows that this community wants more, and the Rapids are willing to give you more.
Yes,
if you work with them, they're going to willing to give you more. And it was just really cool to see how much we've grown, how much the Rapids kind of grown, and kind of pick a player's head at the end of the season about how things went. I think, and everybody getting to see what we asked them, everybody getting to see it wasn't just like a one-on-one. I think I thought it was a really cool experience, not just for us, but I think Rapids fans, that we don't get a lot of interviews. We don't get a lot of times to interact with these players. Yeah. But I really do think that that was one of my favorite times of the season for sure.
Love that. Downtown Duane Brown.
Man, it's hard. I've got 3 big ones. All right, can I go all 3?
Yeah, rapid fire.
Yeah,
all right, rapid fire. DNVR Rapids.
That's not a moment.
This whole moment. Every
moment
of being on the show. Just every moment being on the show, whether it's somebody ranting, somebody getting pissed about.
Man.
The rants were good.
That was one of my moments. Was the first Yahirr rant when we just completely cleared out like Harden's teammates letting him ISO. It was awesome.
That was one of my worst moments.
No, I love all of those little moments, and I wrap them up into the big moment of experience of DNVR Rapids.
All right,
and that means the comments too, like all of that. Everybody who dedicates time to listen to us, but also to be on the show live with us is huge to me. The second one in my rapid fire here is getting to the tailgate that first time when Dre was there, and then everybody just came up to say hi, and all 3 of us were there, and it was just fun, man. It was just fun to see everybody. That was huge.
That was
and then
the Houston home game, right? Yeah.
And then the third one was watching you two play in the Media Cup. Like, I enjoyed it too, but I just love seeing how giddy Mitch was. Like, it was his birthday. Like, we're playing soccer at Dick's Sporting Goods Park, and seeing you two just giddy about it
was fun as hell.
Was just a big moment. It was just so much fun for me.
It was also really cool seeing a lot of media. Lot of media around town.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe I gave you guys 4 moments and this one wasn't taken. I have 2, so I'm going to cheat a little bit like Duane, but not as bad as Duane. First moment.
Duane the cheater, confirmed.
First moment. Breaking the rules.
Dude, Drew effing Moore.
Yeah.
Coming on 12 minutes. You better defend because we're down a man, and they held on for a win. And then everyone in C38 going up and giving him love afterwards, and seeing him
more
with the fans and with his family, and talking to us afterwards. He had a nice few words at a Burgundy affair. I think everyone wishes him the best, and couldn't have thought of a better way for him to go out this season. It was really great to see, and I'm glad that was his curtain call. I didn't want to see him today. I mean, I did, obviously, but like to have that be the way he went out was awesome. So shout out to that. Yeah,
Good choice.
and then
I would have loved him to see go out with the MLS Cup though. Not gonna lie.
well, I mean,
He
obviously
has two. He's fine.
he's fine.
Could have used the third one and just
Could have used the third one. And then Diego Rubio's goal today, man. I really do. I think.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's kind of. It was the very end of the game, and then I had to rush and set up my stuff, so I couldn't really sit and like think about it a lot and like really reflect on it. I was trying to find the video and tweet out the video and put up the graphic.
You were rushing.
You know, we're doing all this stuff to get ready for the show. I'm on my phone and on my laptop, and I'm watching the post game. I'm like, you know, like all over the place. But it really is amazing, man. We saw one of the best Rapids seasons ever. There's been one other one as good as him, but Casey didn't like lead the team in assists that season. Like he was so good, and to have him captain
Rubio goals are more exciting.
They just are.
Yeah, for sure.
As someone who was deeply ingrained during that time, you know, a lot of them were just kind of like cleanup goals.
Sure.
You know, and Rubio goals are exciting.
They're just great.
So,
yeah, absolutely. Okay, we'll do B-Ray's question real quick too. What was your favorite game this season? Favorite Rapids game?
Oh,
I'll go first because I don't want you guys taking mine. So.
I already know which one it's gonna be, and I know what it's gonna be. Like,
all right, fine. Go ahead.
No, you can use it. Go ahead. No, I'm gonna let you take it, Mitch. You deserve it.
I'm asking the questions.
Mitch was gonna say the Red Bulls game.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Red Bulls game. That game was sick.
I was too.
I was too. That it was just so hectic that it was like the epitome of fun.
Trying to keep up with that game on Twitter, I was so happy and I was so depressed and I was so happy and then I was so what the F and F is going on. That is the epitome of the MLS. Like that is why this league is so fun. That's why we have so many crazy fans that are so into this league. It's games like 5-4 on the road, both teams with several leads. Like, you know, it was
also like
and then they almost lost
deadline. It was right at the transfer deadline too.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
There's reports of Porig out there with his phone, like can't even watch the game because he's over here trying to make moves. You have like a massively crazy game. You have Yahirr scoring his first goal. There's smoke bombs on the ground. It was insane.
But since we kind of all picked that one, I will say LAFC 2-0 at home.
Yeah,
Rubio and Zardes getting goals from
the backup one.
Yeah, it was so. Yeah, that's me.
The backup one to me for that one is the Minnesota one immediately after that Red Bulls one.
The other 4-goal game they had this year. Yeah,
we're saying Claire just got completely clowned that whole game.
Yeah, it was great to see. How about you, downtown Duane Brown?
It's Red Bulls, man. I took
doing?
much flack for calling a win on that, and then it was a total chaos, like just chaos.
That was
match.
My favorite match day graphic, by the way, was that one.
Yeah.
So
it was
the Subway one. Yeah,
the Subway one was sick. The other one would be the Vancouver one with
the
the guy at the top of the waterfall
going over
into Vancouver. That one, which geologically speaking, inaccurate, but very cool visual.
Guess what? They're all
not about accuracy.
In case you were curious, there's not a 4,000-foot waterfall over the city of Vancouver. But
in case you're wondering, the Earth is flat as well, guys.
Yes. Yeah. Newsflash.
I loved your GTA graphic that you made.
Yo, for real.
I forgot about that one. That was good. I liked favorite. Keegan in that one. That was the most. Keegan's photo was the most. It was the most GTA photo of all time. So
Keegan is literally the mafia members from Gentlemen. Have you guys ever seen that movie? He's literally like he would fit it into that movie completely perfectly.
Throw a super Cockney British accent on that, and it's perfect.
Well, no, just have Jack Price do all his words.
That's true. Just dub Jack Price over Keegan. Yeah. Good stuff, guys. I mean, anything else you guys want to get off? I mean, I have a little mini rant. Not rant, but something I can go off. But if you guys have some
let's wrap it up. Final thoughts.
I mean, look, mine is thank you.
My dog starts.
Thank you to everyone here in the comments, to B-Ray, to Logan. You get Kevin, to see, I'm gonna start forgetting, so I'm not, Brandon, Julio jumps in, Wanners, Joseph, everyone that shows up day in and day out, listens to us, supports us, interacts with us on Twitter. You guys are literally the reason we're doing this. And the fact that you guys are willing to show up all the time and listen to us idiots talk about soccer is pretty tight. So, and I don't know, man. I mean, in terms of personally, it was to cover, I've covered high school athletics in the past. I've covered small college athletics in the past, and to be able to step into a professional beat, to go to all the games, to meet the guys, learn the guys, interact with the guys, consider some of them friends, meeting the guys at the Rapids, doing the media game. It's just been one of the best years of my life, and to have you two along for the ride has been super awesome. You guys have, I just have fun twice a week or more if there's a crazy move or some emergency show we have to do. But it's been a hell of a year, guys. And, just thank you to you two. Thank you to everybody in the chat. And yeah, I mean, that's all I got.
Go ahead, Duane.
It's hard to say it better than what Mitch just said. So, I mean, that's really it, man. It's about, none of this was part of my plan. I was working in corporate America, just cranking out some not so fun graphics, and just random things happened. And I ended up at DNVR. And then a few weeks after that, getting to be a part of DNVR Rapids. And, man, just, everything that Mitch said. And that's why those are my top moments for the year, all kind of involve our folks in the comments and the people who interact with us on Twitter and then at the tailgates and everything. Like, that's what makes all of this special for me. And obviously getting to hang out with Mitch and Yahirr every day, and talk Rapids and World Cup and all the things coming up, big things there too. It's just awesome, man. Like, I'm just in such a good place right now, and so much of it is because of what's on this screen right now. So just real good things, and I just appreciate all of it. I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate the experience. I appreciate the Rapids for letting us be a part of their experience in their community. It's just it's such good stuff. So all thank yous, all thankfulness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go for it, my guy.
From my end of it, I just kind of want to echo what these guys have. Thanks so much to everybody else into this pod. This wouldn't be possible without you guys. You guys proved to Denver media that the Rapids deserve to have a place on the table. They deserve to be here, and they deserve to be covered just like any other team. And we appreciate that so much. None of this would be possible with any of you guys. This to me was a very, very special season. It was. I had this plan covering the Rapids for the last 5 years, whether it was with DNVR, whatever it was. And thank the Lord, thank whoever, thank Dre. I want to give thanks to our manager, to Andre, who vouched for us. He said, this is time to do it. He was a big driving force behind all of this. And we're just really grateful for everybody.
Put some real trust.
And it was really easy to say no to us. And it's very special because I said it in the past. I told the teacher when I was learning how to do media, I want to cover the Rapids, and he literally laughed in my face and said, "Good luck." He laughed in my face and said, "Good luck," and then he kind of tried to backtrack it.
El Yasalina.
And now look at us here. We are, and I just want to give thanks to everybody for the Rapids that made it really accessible for us to be there. To be able to get all these different things from them, be able to get player interviews, which is really hard to do in any sport, in any league. I want to, that includes Omar and Emilio. Shouts to those guys. I also want to shout out everybody that's been on the pod, which is Juaners, Jared, Matt, Brendan, it's Joseph. We've had so many great people on here. Horig. We've had just so many good people come on and just talk to us. And we were accepted throughout the media land, and we're really appreciative of that. And that was a dream come true, honestly. I loved every minute of it. I loved every second of it, the good and the bad. So.
All right, guys. I mean, that's gonna do it, man, for us here at DNVR. That is the DNVR Rapids 2022 season. Now, that is just the regular season. We're still gonna do our weekly show. once a week, Wednesdays or Thursdays, somewhere in there. We'll find our groove once Nuggets and Avs kind of settle into their regular seasons. But we'll still
there may be a big tournament coming up that we'll probably
I'll get into that too. But we got some guests lined up. I've been talking to a lot of people around the Rapids and around the Rapids media world and the Rapids Twitter world. We're gonna have a ton of fun guests throughout the off season. We're gonna be doing reaction shows every time some big move goes down. Also thinking about maybe, I don't know, we'll do some fan stuff. We'll do some fan interaction stuff, some giveaways, just stuff to keep it going until next season. And then, of course, World Cup watch-alongs are coming up. You'll see us in the studio, head to toe in the red, white, and blue, except for Yahya. He'll have some green on, unfortunately. Just kidding.
I turned Italian all of a sudden.
There's no Italy in this World Cup. Sorry, Jay. He's probably
Thank the Lord.
Anyway, so it's fine.
Jay's not even watching.
Yeah, if he listens, it's an hour 6 in.
No, I mean the World Cup. He's not even watching World Cup.
No, he's not. But yeah, we're gonna be sitting there. We're gonna be reacting live. Obviously, we'll do some post-game shows. It's gonna be a blast. We are going to be there is someone behind us in terms of being the official World Cup watch spot. I don't know if I can announce that yet, but you're going to want to be at DNVR for this World Cup for sure. It's going to be fun as hell. We're going to have games on all the time. Every U.S. game starts at noon. So, just tell your boss you're sick or whatever. Tell them I said you can. It's
long
cool.
lunch.
Yeah.
Long lunches.
The thing is that I got to watch the games. So I can't tell Dre that. I need to be there. I can't tell Dre I'm sick to go to watch World Cup games.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean you guys. I meant everyone in the chat and listening at home. Tell your boss you're sick. Come on down. We have Wi-Fi. You could just set up your laptop and watch the game from the bar and hang out.
It's a work from home remote day at the DNVR bar.
At the DNVR bar. It's going to be lit.
Your second home.
So with last housekeeping part on my part, I'll hand it off to you guys for the rest. But if you're going to any of these upcoming Avs games, any of these upcoming Nuggets games, if you want to catch the Buffs or the Rams for some reason because you're a total sicko, or if you want to catch the Broncos again because you're a total sicko, Game Time app. Use Game Time. Use the link in our show description here. Get tickets. They're the cheapest tickets. They'll guarantee you lowest prices. If you find something lower in the same spot, they'll give you a credit for the next game worth more than the cost of the ticket. So if you're going to anything over the winter in terms of sporting events in town, concerts, anything, get your tickets through Game Time. Please, please, please. It goes a super long way for us here at DNVR. It's huge. So please, 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 please. Shout out. Okay. Any other housekeeping? Yeah, Duane. I don't know who to start with, but go ahead and start plugging away.
DNVR Twitter, DNVR Rapids Twitter. Follow, interact. Follow Duane at the Duane Brown. Follow Mitch at Mitch_Carroll. Follow me at DNVR_Yahya. We talk Rapids, talk all sports. We have a lot of fun. 5-star review wherever you hear this pod, whether it be Stitcher, whether it be Apple, whether it be Spotify. That helps us out. Also, give a like to this YouTube channel right now and give a subscribe. We'd really appreciate that. And besides that, I'll leave it to Mitch and Duane to plug the rest.
Duane, what else you got for plugs, my guy?
What that guy said.
Got it. Yeah, absolutely. Same thing there. Go to DNVR Locker, get swagged up for the Avs season. We're gonna have a nice little Avs sale coming up next week. We'll do a Nugget sale opening week for them as well. We got Black Friday on the horizon. We got a ton of new stuff coming in. We just dropped 3 new hoodies that are unbelievably dope. So go get those. You'll see me wearing them basically every show from now until it's warm again. So
even in the warm.
Even when it's warm, I'll probably be wearing them. But yeah, do that. You know what? B-Ray just made me realize let's just throw some quick shout outs. Yeah. Shout out to Fleming. Shout out to Cello. You shouted them out, but Omar and Emilio, you guys made it this far into the show too. Shout out to you guys for helping us out.
Absolutely.
All the guys that helped us with our coverage. So, that's Diego's talked to us, Jonathan Lewis, Keegan, Porig, Frazier. Like
we're
the
in
guys
sync right now, man.
Yeah, the guys that were with me in the press box all the time: Brendan, Matt, Brian Jennings, Keith Richards, Lenders and Woozers. I could keep going, man. Connor Cape on the radio call. It's been John Babiak, the legend photographer, who's always there too. C38, you guys are awesome. Shout out to you guys. Am I missing any? Shout out to Duane. Shout out to Yahya, obviously. Am I missing anything?
No. I
Just
feel
a
like
loving
this is
place.
the last show. Like we're gonna be on late in a few days. So,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the last show of
whatever.
the season.
It's the show of the
okay.
season. Yeah, it's fine, but I still want to get all my shout outs. And this is a
Oh, I know. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like we're gonna see them again, right?
This is literally
dude,
the
shout
middle
out
school
Nutmeg,
graduation. This is
Shout
literally
out
the
Nutmeg.
dude. For
this is the
real.
middle school graduation where everybody's gonna see each other in high school and everybody's saying bye.
Yeah, dude. Have a good summer. Yeah, dude. Have fun in the sun. Get laid in the
KIT.
shade, my guys. More important than all of that, and Logan already put it in the chat, so if you're still listening, put it in there too. More important, the most important thing of all of that, of everything we ever say or do on this show, is up the bids.